Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my first ever league racing review video on my channel. This is ERA Elite Race Away, the preseason race that will be taking place around Bahrain. And as you can see, I'm just getting my tires warmed up for this first qualifying lap that I'm going to be setting. So it is DRS wide open as we go down the start finish straight heading to turn 1, and as you can see, there's a car that is coming out of the pit. So as we go into turn 1, it slightly compromises that turn. However, we do still navigate it relatively well. DRS wide open once again as we now head into this right-hander, running slightly wide, unfortunately. However, not too bad. As we can see, for sector 1, it is a 28.475, so purple first sector. So things looking good so far. Now coming through this slow right-hander, that is quite a difficult turn to take as it is very hard to spot your braking. And then this turn, probably the most difficult turn on the F1 calendar. We do run slightly wide. It is DRS wide open once again as Focoena PO2 sets a 129, I believe that's a 273 to set the fastest lap of this qualifying session so far. However, we are coming to the end of sector 2. It is a purple second sector, so we are currently flying as we have the fastest sector 1 and fastest sector 2 time. Now coming into the final turn, hit the apex well, run out wide, getting good traction and opening the DRS. We set a 128.190 to put ourselves into provisional pole position. So now we head to our second attempt to set our fastest lap. So DRS wide open. I need to really get my talking down. DRS wide open coming into turn 1, and we navigate it a lot better than the first attempt as we did not have a car that was kind of blocking our way. So we are a 10.5 up at this point. There you have, or you see the Modern Chicken setting a 128.171, so 19 faster than my first time that I set. However, as you can see, we are 2/10, or just over 2/10 faster on this qualifying lap, setting a purple sector 1. So we are doing quite well. But now heading into this difficult turn, you could see that smoke from the car ahead as it locked up, and we run wide, and that is going to cost us a lot of time. So I decided that I was going to abandon this lap, go into the pits, kind of chill out for a second, put on a new set of tires, and go out for my final qualifying lap, which is this one right here. So 20 seconds left in the qualifying session, heading into turn 1. We take it well, not as well as the previous lap. However, still better than our first qualifying lap that we did. Currently 1/10 up or faster on this lap, and navigating this turn, as you can see, it was initially good, but then the exit not too great. Still a purple sector 1. Now going into this downhill right-hander, navigate it relatively well. 2/10, yes, 2/10. Faster than our fastest lap, hitting the apex of this difficult turn. However, traction not too great. So DRS wide open at this point. We are 2.5 tenths quicker than our fastest lap, running slightly wide coming through that turn. So that probably cost us a little bit of time, but we are still going faster as it is a purple sector 2. So we are doing well on this final lap. So it is this straight, and then all we have to do is navigate this final turn. As you can see, hitting the apex while running out wide, getting good traction, and getting the turbo on DRS open as well. It is a 127.930 to put us into provisional pole, and it is going to be pole position. with that 127.930. So that is a very good lap, and I'm quite delighted with that performance in qualifying. So now we head to the race. It is 3, 4, and 5 red lights as we are starting on the medium compound tire. And we are underway and getting a quite good start on the Modern Chicken, who is behind me. He is starting on the hard compound tire. So it is almost inevitable that we are going to get a better start in comparison to himself. And as you could see, the Aston Martin of 50 and 07 actually jumps the Modern Chicken as he is also starting on the medium compound tire. So we are currently in the midst of sector 2, nearly 1.2 seconds ahead of the car behind us. So still navigating through this first lap, going through this difficult turn, running slightly wide. Seems to be somewhat of a theme so far through this session. Now coming up to this uphill left-hander, as we kind of have to get ourselves used to running with the higher fuel that comes in the race session. As you can see, we're running wide through that turn as well. So not exactly a good first lap. However, we do maintain this first place position, currently just over a second ahead of the Aston Martin of 50 and 07 behind us, and we set a 1:33.582 to the fastest lap. Heading into the second lap, we now skip ahead to lap number 3, and as you can see, 50 is right behind us. So it's going to be DRS for himself behind me as he makes his way ahead of me to go into first place. So because he had the DRS, and yeah, we're doing not too bad on the battery, but because he had the DRS, we just decided to let him through and just kind of chill for a bit as we get our first track limit warning of the race. So 3 of those, and we get a 3-second time penalty. So heading through the final turn, and you can see washing wide through that final turn as the dirty air in this year's game is quite beautiful. It's difficult, but it is quite beautiful. So it's DRS wide open for ourselves. We make our way past 50 to go back up into first place, as we're currently on lap 4 of this 29 lap race. So now skipping ahead to the end of lap 4, coming to the final turn. As you can see, we are slightly low on the battery. I am running a slightly lower downforce setup, so good top speed, but I wasn't expecting that my ERS, was going to be running so low throughout the race from all of the practice that I did before the session. So as you can see, 50 makes his way past myself, and we are both 2 seconds ahead of the Modern Chicken, who is behind me in third place. So we are kind of moving our way away from the pack, myself and 50 and 07. However, there you could see him going through that turn. You could see that he was sliding as he was turning right. So that was kind of telling me that he was starting to struggle. There you could see locking up, and yeah, it kind of just told me that he was pushing quite a bit. As you can see that there is a gap forming between myself and him as we run very wide coming through that turn. We do get DRS, trying to use the battery to stay within 1 second so that we can maintain getting DRS off of 50. But yeah, it does seem like 50 is pushing quite a bit, whereas we are pushing decently, but not as much as 50. As you could see, even as we're coming to the end of lap 6, going through that right-hander, as you just saw there, you could see him squirming. His car is not his car is kind of arguing with him as he is going through these turns. There you can see once again sliding and locking up. So it's going to be, as he is currently saving the battery, as you can see the red light flashing, but it's going to be DRS for ourselves, and we do make our way past to go back up into first place, and both of us 4 seconds ahead of the third place driver, who is Goatley, behind us. Now skipping ahead to the end of lap 8. So 50 did make his way past ourselves. However, it's going to be DRS for myself, and making my way past the Aston Martin to go back up into first place. And because I knew that 50 was pushing quite a bit, I was kind of thinking to myself, is there going to be a point where I'm going to be able to break the DRS from 50, which, as you can see, he is about 7/10 behind us. And yeah, it's at a second right now. So I'm kind of trying to push at this point to see if I can potentially break the DRS. But there you see, running wide through that turn, and this was a major point in this race, because I had the opportunity to break the DRS as we run wide coming through that turn, getting our second track limit warning penalty. So I tried to break the DRS of 50, however, he within 1 second and maintains the DRS, which he would have just got on that straight that we just went through. So now coming through this right-hander, and you can see 50 still staying within the 1 second. However, we are still breaking away from the cars behind us. There are 2 hard runners that are keeping within slight distance, so they are going to be quite good as far as for their next stint when they change onto the medium compound tire. So as you can see, my pit window for a 2-stop strategy has opened. And 50, as you can see there, actually pits. So it seems like he's going to be doing a 2-stop, which at this point, I had it in my head that I was going to be doing a 1-stop strategy. So we head to the end of lap 13. As you can see, Wash Frozen, he is with nearly a second behind myself. So we are going into the pits, and as you can see coming up here, for some reason there is a McLaren just sitting in the pit lane, which that somewhat delays us. So there is a car that has pit with us, the Ferrari of MK7 Hitch, and as you can see, that gained him quite a bit of time with that delay. So it's quite unfortunate that that took place. However, it is head down. We have to continue running our race and try and get ourselves going as we're getting these tires warm. So heading to the end of lap 14, and as you can see, we're currently in 7th place, and it is going to be DRS for MK7 Hitch behind me. So I do turn the battery off and usher him through. So coming through turn 1. So it is now going to be DRS for myself. You can see that MK7 Hitch is actually saving the battery. However, now he decides to start using a bit of the battery. DRS wide open for us here. However, we do not catch MK7 Hitch going into that turn, and we stay slotted behind the Ferrari driver. So now heading into the end of lap 15, you can see there is a car heading into the pits, and now heading to the end of lap 16. So that put us into 7th place. We're still behind MK7 Hitch, but as you can see on the left side there is one car that is into the pits and then another car that's into the pits. So that brings us up into 5th place. As you can see, MK7 Hitch locking up with all that smoke. Now coming to the end of lap 18, and MK7 Hitch kind of has a gap on us, so he is flying. 50 and 07 makes his second stop. However, there you could see Wash Frozen makes his way past us to go up into 2nd place, and that kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't realize that he was that close behind me. So he is currently moving at that point. We now skip ahead to the end of lap 22. And as you can see, MK7 Hitch and Wash Frozen, they have both gapped me by quite a bit of time. However, MK7 Hitch has himself a 6-second time penalty. I have a 3-second, or sorry, Frozen has a 3-second time penalty. I don't have any time penalties to my name. So at this point, I am just trying to catch the both of them. And as you can see, coming to the end of lap 26, I am catching I am within second and 1.9 seconds. However, it does go up to 2.1 coming into this turn 1. However, so I have caught up to both of these drivers throughout those laps, and I have to just try and be within 3 seconds of Frozen to be able to win this race. So I am somewhat pushing, but also trying to make sure that I don't make any mistakes so that I could give myself the best possible opportunity to finish this race in first and come out with the win. However, going through this turn, you could see that MK7 Hitch makes a mistake, and because he comes so close to me, going through that turn, I could feel the dirty air, and I wasn't expecting it, so it kind of catches me off guard and ruins my traction coming through that turn. So as you can see here, having DRS wide open, I make my way past MK7 Hitch, and now it is a race to try and catch up to Frozen to get within 3 seconds so that I could finish this race in first place. So I'm currently about 3.2 seconds behind Frozen at this point. As you can see, MK7 Hitch is dropping back quite a bit, and after the race he actually said, or someone commented, that his tires blew up. As you can see, he's going to be falling down the field at this point. So I think he suffered a puncture at this point, so he starts falling down the field. So unfortunate for the Ferrari MK7 Hitch, and as you can see, he does pit there. However, coming to the end of the race, it is Frozen that ends up taking the win for this race. I come home in second place. I was not able to stay within the 3 seconds of the Aston Martin driver, so well done by Washed Frozen. So here you can see the final results for the race. It's Frozen in first, myself second, and 50 in 07 finishing in third place, and that rounds out the podium. And there you could see the rest of the finishers in the race. So next week the race is going to be taking place around Austria, so I'll be doing a review video for that race and all of the races after that one as well. Last season I finished in third place, so I am looking forward to potentially winning the championship for this season. It seems like I'm going to be battling with Frozen, as he was someone that I did battle with quite a bit last season. He was a reserve driver. So yeah, but the other thing is that he did seem to have a bit of displeasure as far as driving with no assist, so it seems as if he's going to be dropping out before the season gets underway next week. So it could be the potential that I'm going to have an easier run towards my or easier run as far as my championship battle is concerned. We will see what it is that happens. So make sure that you stay tuned in for my review videos. Also, if you want to watch the races live, you can search Elite Raceaway on YouTube for the live coverage and commentary. It's every Monday at 9 p.m. so 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to tune in, make sure that you do that as well. So I will see you here next week for my review after the first race of the season that takes place around Austria. Until then, take care.